Guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I have a ton of new news on the boat and also several upgrades that we're going to be putting on the boat. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so I wanted to start off by saying we do have the boat back. Super excited about that. Also, one of the upgrades is the cover for the boat. It looks fantastic on the boat. I spent about $200–300 on a Amazon cover. And it did not work at all, so just recommend you guys save the money and go ahead and spend a little bit of money to get the Yamaha cover. Fits like a glove, and you can also ratchet strap it down right here to make sure that you get a tight cover on here, and you can also trailer this thing with that cover. So awesome. That's just one of the things though, but before I get into the upgrades, I did want to get into what was fixed. So I'm going to flip this camera around and show you guys a wiring diagram so I can show you where the issues were within the wiring harness. Okay, so if you've never seen one of these before, this is the wiring diagram of the boat. Looks like a lot is going on here, but what I wanted to focus on was this part of this diagram right here. So everywhere that they have circled is where several wires meet. And those things are just clamped together, and they found several loose connections throughout a lot of this wiring harness, but these three locations in particular is where they found several. So they think this had to do with my intermittent power issue, and they also went ahead and added in another fuse box and ran several of those wires independently to this fuse box. So now the boat has two fuse boxes. I haven't seen it myself. Pretty soon I'll be getting the cover off to show you guys what they did and see how the work looks, because I haven't even taken the cover off since I've had the boat. But with that being said, I got some instructions over here for several new parts, but I'm just going to jump in and show you guys. So we did end up getting the bag for the T-top. So this bag fits perfectly inside of the cutout for the T-top. So it'll be a nice flush mount bag to throw like life jackets and stuff like that in. Jumping back down here, you'll also see this mesh net right here is the aft sunshade. Right here on the floor is the two poles that go in those two rear cup holders, and this attaches to the roof. You actually have to drill some hardware into the roof to attach this sunshade to the roof, so that you can have a nice sunshade. One of the things we've noticed when having the boat is we love the seat on the boat, especially when you're facing to the rear of the boat. But the sun does come right underneath that, so you still do get a ton of sun when you're sitting on that seat right there. But the top alone is a huge difference maker. And then the last thing we got going on, and one of my favorite things, that makes a huge difference on the boat, is going to be the MarineMat for the back of the boat. So I'm going to start with the easiest stuff, which is going to be the MarineMat, and then make my way to the bag and then to the aft shade, because you do have to drill some holes in the top for these two. So I'm gonna get right to it. Okay guys, so before I move on to that MarineMat and take this cover off, I wanted to give you guys a look at how tight that cover is. Looks great on there. One of the things I love is it comes with a pole, so that you don't have essentially a hot tub in the center of your boat once it rains quite a bit, and it does protect the glass as well. The whole thing has a ratchet strap that runs around it that holds it down on there tight, and I just think it looks great. Again, you can trailer with this cover, but yeah, it looks good. So I wanted to show you that. Jet Boat Pilot makes a really good video on how this cover goes on, but I will probably make a video on it too, because some of the things they say are different than what I found on this boat. So stay tuned for that. All right guys, I'm gonna jump into that MarineMat. All right guys, so here we are at the back of the boat. You have to forgive me, a moving truck just pulled up for my neighbor, and I'm rapidly running out of sunlight. It is fall here for sure. So before we get started, I just kind of wanted to talk through this process. So you're gonna need a couple of things: Windex, microfiber towel. Got more of these things than I have blankets in my house. And you need something with ammonia in it, because when these boats come out of the mold, they have a mold release compound on it, and it feels almost waxy. So if you don't get that off of the surface of your boat, then you'll have a hard time getting your MarineMat to stick. Some other guys online, like Jet Boat Pilot, I've seen use a bonding compound, but even they mentioned in that video, like, that's not a necessity. You can do it if you want to be sure, but today I'm just doing it in between work. So I'm gonna clean this up real quick. I'll leave a time lapse up of me just polishing this up real quick, and then we'll lay these mats out, make sure we got them laid out and looking correct, and then we'll start peeling off the backs and placing those things down. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so I just wiped this down. This thing was super dirty. It's been at the dealership and then in storage before that. So it took me a little bit to polish this up, but I think we're good now. Jet Boat Pilot said once you can get a good squeak out of it, you know that releasing compound is off of the surface, and you're good to go ahead and start placing your mats. And then once you like the placement, peel the back off and stick them down. So we're gonna open that package up there, go ahead and lay them out, make sure we got all our parts and pieces. And once we do, we're gonna move on to that next step. So here it is, guys, everything is laid out. The only thing you gotta do on these ones is punch out the cup holder inserts right here so you can take these pieces out completely. But we got everything laid out. So I'll probably end up starting on the right side and start making my way across. All right, guys, I'm gonna start in this bottom right corner. One of the things to keep in mind is that you're supposed to have a 1/4 of an inch gap running around the outside of this mat. And then I think in Jet Boat Pilot, they started in the middle and they had a knife to kind of cut that paper. I don't have one, so I'm just gonna start in the corner, place my corner right, fill the paper, and then apply pressure to the rest of the mat as I'm moving across. Just one thing to keep in mind, if you're doing this on a sunny day, you can stretch these mats. So when you're applying it, you wanna do it in the shade on a cooler night so you don't stretch these mats. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this. All right, guys, sorry it's getting dark. I'll turn one of these lights on. But I got the bottom mats placed and where I like them. So what I'm about to do now is take my shoes off and walk on top of these so I can apply some pressure to them to make sure that they stick. Don't do that with shoes. Might put a gash in it if you have a rock or something. But yeah, walk down on these because you can see some of these edges right here aren't all the way down yet. So I'm gonna walk along all the edges and press those things down to make sure we get a good stick. Then I'm gonna work my way up to that top row. Here we are in the second platform. Same story, I'm gonna start on the right and make my way left. I already took the center punch out for the cup holder that you can see right here. So again, I'm just gonna put it on time lapse and kind of work my way through it. That's already making a huge difference on the back of the boat. And this thing saves your knees already. So super stoked about it, can't wait to see the finished product. And there you have it. All of the decking is on. To me, it makes a massive difference on the back of the boat. So now I'm just gonna walk on it, make sure we got a good seal around all of the edges. Pretty easy to put on. These ones kind of gave me a little bit of headaches around the cup holders because I was trying to start in this corner, but I found it easier just to start around the cup holder first, and then everything seemed to lay into place. Not sure if that's the same on every model or just this one, but yeah, this was the one that really gave me headaches. So I had to start around this cup holder, and then you could kind of stretch it to get it to fit on this outside corner. But I think it looks great. I'll probably end up stopping here for tonight because I got to drill holes in the top for the aft shade and also for the bag. So I'll probably stop here at this point, and then I'll also give you guys an update in the part 2 of this video to show you what's going on with that additional fuse box down below. Okay, guys, I thought I was gonna be done for the night, but I'm super excited about this. I have the bag that goes in the T-top right here, and I thought it was gonna be way more involved, but it's literally just a piece of 3M tape that's on the bottom of that bag to hold it up in there, and then use a 5/16 drill bit to just drill holes in the top, and it comes with the hardware. I'll show it to you guys, but it just pushes up in there and snaps in there. So it's super easy, so I'm just gonna go ahead and knock it out so I can see what it looks like. Okay, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, this is the bag. That's what it looks like right there, and this is the hardware. The directions say literally to stick the bag in there, use the bag as a guide, just drill holes through the bag, and these are the hardware that hold it up in there, and then it has a big 3M strip of tape on the back side of this right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. Before I button this up completely, I just wanted to show you that's what they mean by use the bag as a guide. You literally just drill through the bag through those holes, and then you put in these push pins right here. So it's super simple. And then again, running down the middle of this is 3M tape with Velcro on the back. So super simple. I only got a few holes left to do, but there's a ton of these pins in this thing. Just like that, it is mounted up there. I think it looks good, sits in there nice and flush. I do think you're gonna have to add some weight in there, or a heavy object to kind of get that thing broken in, because the zippers are hard to get through these back corners. on both sides of this thing, but I think maybe once you get some weight in there to kind of stretch this thing out, I don't think that'll be an issue anymore. I really like how it looks. Kind of makes that empty space way more usable.